everyone! Today is the second part of the story time. Well, it's actually the continuation of the old story time, which is episode 2. I want to apologize. I know I said I was going to do it 2 days later, but I was busy looking for voodoo, and I was also busy trying to get my classes, and I was busy with work. I've been working, I've been looking for my cat, and I've been looking to get my classes. But that's all over now. Well, the cat search is still not over. I have not found her, and she has not appeared. No one has seen her around where I live. Well, anyways, starting with the story. I don't remember exactly where I left off. I should have watched the video before, but I'll start with the 8th Street house. Okay, the 8th Street house is at the entrance. You'll see that there's a little cage porch. It looks like a little cage because it has fence around it. I don't know why. I forgot if it has a chimney or not. I don't think so. I don't remember, but I'll show you a picture while I'm talking about it. Anyways, once you enter the living room's right away. There's a door right in front of me, and then there's a door on the side. The door on the side we used as a room, but we had a little room. It was like a walk-in closet, but we used it as a room for my brother. And he lived in a little small boxed room. It wasn't big, it wasn't, whoa, it's a nice ass room. No, it's a small, pretty fucking small room. And then that's the door on the side. The door in front, that's a middle room. That's a real room. That was a normal sized room. The closet was on this side, and then the window was on this side. It was on the side of the house. Then if you go forward in that room, there's another door which goes to the bathroom. Now in the bathroom, there's a door on this side, and there's a door forward. If you go to the door that's forward, that was the main room. And if you go to the door here, it was another little walk-in closet. It was like a little hallway, wannabe hallway. And then if you go through that little hallway, there's the kitchen. So you could literally run in a circle in the house. So you enter the house, the living room, you go straight, and then there's the living room. You turn this way, and then you go that way. There's the dining room. There's a little door thing, but they have no door. So once you go in there, you have the kitchen, which was pretty big. It was a pretty big house. Not too big, but not too small. It was a decent house. And then, well, yeah, that's how the house is. So it's a 2-bedroom house with the two walk-in closets, one big one and one small one, but we used the big walk-in closet as a room for my brother. And starting with the story, we moved in when I was barely entering middle school, so I was like 12, 13 most likely because of my birthday. Well, I was a 13-year-old. My brother was he's 6 years younger. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. My brother was 7. I was 13, my brother was 7, and my sister was 1. In that house, the story of the house, no, the history of this house, I really don't know. I tried searching for it. Apparently Richmond has no history. It has history because it goes into history books and everything, but the old houses, I don't know anything about the houses anymore. I tried searching anything. I'm bad at searching things for it. Well, anyways, in that house, when I was living in the gray house, which was when I was a lot younger, the yellow house had burned, which was the new house I had moved into. But when it was burning, I was still in the gray house. Probably mixed you guys up. Well, anyways, when I was living in the gray house, there was a house behind that house, which was the next house I moved into. However, before I moved into that house had been burned down. Like, it literally went on fire, and nobody knows what happened to the owners. Nobody knows where they went. It's like a mystery. But however, they did not announce any any deaths or anything like that. But everybody knows it went on fire because it was a huge fire. The whole street was completely foggy with. Well, anyways, the house had been burned down and remodeled. Once it was remodeled, then it was the big house. Nice, really big house. We always used to throw parties. We also have fun. However, I was kind of skeptical. I don't even know how to fucking say that word. Let's just finish this. Anyways, I was kind of weird about the house. I was like, okay, well, nobody knows what happened to the owners. And there was no deaths, but still, it's kind of weird. It's early in the morning. I just went to go take my sister to school and came back and decided to take a video because I had time and I needed to clean my room. That's why there's a different background. I'm just kidding. My room is clean. Just some certain parts are not. It's just walkable in this room. Well, anyways, we moved in. We're like, okay. The owner was nice. She was super nice. She showed us the whole renovation. She was just super nice. She let us do whatever we wanted. Throw parties, be loud, have a pet. Until my pet got taken away by the fucking pet. I don't know what the fuck it was called. I forgot. If I remember, I'll probably put it right here. Anyways, she let us do whatever we wanted. We could do renovations, or we could just change a little bit of things, stuff like that. The first encounter, at the beginning of when we moved in, right in the beginning of years when we moved in, well, months that we moved in, nothing was really happening. It was a decent house. I was just like, okay, I guess there's nothing in this house like the other house. I was pretty wrong. I was wrong. I was completely wrong because most of the nights you could hear going through the bathroom, through the kitchen, through the living room. I was just like, oh my god, is my brother sleepwalking or something? It's so annoying. And then what I hated was the bathroom door. If you open it, it opens my door to the living room. And for some reason, every night, not every night, but most of the nights, no, not even most of them, for some reason, once in a while, something would open the bathroom door, which woke me up because it would open my room door. And I was just like, oh my god, like who the hell keeps playing around with me? So I was pretty confused. I was like, who's playing around with me? Like, why are you playing around with me? You're playing with my emotions here. So I was pretty freaked out, but I ignored it. I learned to ignore it. I learned to deal with it with myself because I had a feeling that if I told my parents, they would have been like, oh, you're crazy. Anyways, almost every once in a while you would hear footsteps. Same old routine, same old time. One day, it was 4th of July. My cousin had decided to stay over. She stayed over. I just remember something. Oh, anyway, she stayed over. It was 4th of July. There was a lot of shooting, so we had to stay in bed. My bed was not low, so we were like, I think we should just stay on the ground because they were shooting pretty close to my house. Super close. And there was hella fireworks. So you could tell the difference if it's super close, but still, you gotta be cautious. But my cousin had the idea to check through the window. No, because our window was open. Our window was open, and so were the blinds. So she was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just close the blinds. She looked out. When she turned around, it was just like like if she saw the most horrific thing in her life. I was just like, what's going on? She's like, there's an ugly ass man on your window. I was just like, what are you talking about? Is there a hobo in my house or something? They're like, no, this guy is so beat that I don't want to look outside anymore. Why do you think I ran back in bed? I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, there's a man right at your window staring inside. I was like, did you at least close the blinds? She's like, yes. And I was like, should I look? Should I not look? Because I was facing the closet. I get scared to look at the window when they tell me stuff like that. Well, I used to. Now it's just like, I'm curious, I want to see. Anyways, she was so creeped out. She was shivering. I was just like, oh my god, what's going on? Like, who is this man? Should I tell my parents? She's like, no, don't tell your parents. I was like, why? Like, there's a dude standing outside of my house. She's like, no, don't tell your parents. He's like, she had told me that he was kind of ghostly. I was like, oh, hell no. I was so mad. I was like, why this again? Why is this the second house I go through this with? And she's like, yeah, well, anyway. I was like, man, okay, I'ma look. I look at the window. There's a shape, a figure, like if it was a shadow. Like if you put the lights behind me, you put a blind here, you can see my shadow. That's how it looked in that window. I was like, oh, hell no. And I was just like, this is not happening. This is not happening. I covered my face. I was like, you know what? We're just gonna go to bed. We're gonna go to bed. I was like, we're just gonna go to bed. And I tried to cover myself, but I couldn't keep myself from looking outside. So I put my covers on and I looked back. It was still there. Literally, it was still there. But it looked like its hand was going closer and closer. I was like, oh no. I was freaking out. I was like, I didn't know whether to tell my parents, because my cousin had said not to say anything. She told me just go to sleep. First of all, she's older than me, so I was just like, okay, I'll just go to sleep. When I turned around just to put another blanket, because we had like shitload of fucking layers of blankets of how cold my house was. So we kept putting more blankets. I put my second layer of blanket, and when I turned around, it just vanished. I was just like, oh hell no, it's probably walking around my house and stuff like that. This was like at 9 or 10, and no, this was like at 10 or 11 at night. My parents were asleep because my sister had went to go to sleep, and she was just a 1-year-old baby that just never let anybody go to sleep. Anyways, and my brother, so we put him to sleep before anything happens. And when my brother is sleeping, literally you could smack him, you could yell at him, you could do that one loud horn, I forgot what it's called, right by his ear. He will not wake up. He will not wake up. You could splash water in his face, he will not wake up. That boy is like, why can't I have your fucking deep sleep? I will not wake up. He does not wake up for earthquakes. He does not wake up for gunshots. He does not wake up for anything. It's just like, are you dead? Anyways, we put him to sleep. Everybody was asleep in the house. I finally got the chance to go like fall asleep. My cousin had fallen asleep before I had. I got the chance like an hour later, 2 hours later. I was pretty sleepy. An hour later, I think I woke up. I don't think I woke up. I woke up an hour later. And this hour later, I was hearing footsteps and my door opening. I was just like, what the heck is going on? I was like, oh hell no, this man probably went in my house. This man must have gone in my house. I was freaking out. I tried to wake up my cousin, but it was like hopeless. I don't know what was going on with her. She was just asleep. I would smack her, I would push her, I would tell her to wake up, she would just be like, no, go to sleep. She wouldn't say, no, go to sleep. She would say, no, just go to sleep, nothing's happening. I'm just like, girl, the door is opening by itself. There's no one there. Usually when someone goes to the bathroom, they turn on the light first. I don't know what's the tendency with all of us. We turn on the light first. We don't pee in the dark and shit. I used to, until I got freaked out. And then you hear the door open, and my bed was right against the door towards the living room. My bed was right against the door towards the living room. And you just hear, and I was on the side of where the door was the living room. You just hear tick, 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 going towards the living room. I was like, oh hell no, he's gonna sit right next to me. Oh hell no, he's gonna do what the little girl did to me. I'm literally having goosebumps right now. Oh my god, this is so crazy. Oh my god, I've never gotten goosebumps this bad. Now that's how you know I'm freaked out. I got some buff hands, sorry. Pretty fat. Well, anyways, oh my god, I got goosebumps. Anyways, he kept walking right next to me. I was just like, shit, what do I do? So I kept scooting to my cousin's side. I was just like scooting to her side. I kept scooting to her side because I kept hearing it go closer. But what it did was, I don't know what the fuck I had to do to dig in my closet. It just opened it and then walked out of my room. I was like, what the hell? I didn't do anything. I said, okay. As a matter of fact, I did do something. I got up and I locked the doors. However, even if you lock my door, it opens. So I went to go close my door again, and I went to go close the bathroom door. However, the bathroom door, you could lock it, but I'll be locked out of that bathroom. So I'll have to go around. My dumbass locked it. I was like, shit, I don't want to go around. So I went to sleep. I slept through the night. I had to pee. I didn't give a shit. I slept and tried to put myself back to sleep again. Until the next morning. The next morning, my cousin looked tired. I was just like, oh, well. I look super tired. My face was pale as shit. And that's pretty fucking impossible because I'm dark as shit. That's pretty much everything that always happened in that house. I would either see the figure. Well, not see the figure. The only time I seen the figure was at 4th of July. And I remember this day because there was a lot of shootings going on. And it was just like, fuck, we gotta flatten our stomachs and our bodies and shit. Logical shit, right? Logical shit, right? You're just gonna be like, you know what? If we flatten ourselves with the most we can, we won't get shot at. That was our logic. We were pretty fucking stupid. Anyways, that was pretty much it throughout the whole thing. I was pretty fucking scared. We lasted in that house about 3 years. However, this time, I wasn't the only one that dealt with these type of encounters. My parents did too. I don't know about my brother. I have not asked him about that. I don't think he has. Oh yeah, yes, I have. My parents, the only thing they would encounter was the footsteps. Just walking. Like a simple walk to go get a cup of water. My parents didn't trip out until one day my dad was just like, oh my god, why is there so much walking? Like, are they not sleeping? So he got up and he saw no one there. Obviously, who the fuck can see ghosts? Besides ghost people that see ghosts. A medium or a psychic or stuff like that. Those are the only people that can see ghosts. And people with the sixth sense, but I usually just call them psychics or mediums. Well, anyways. Sorry, my hair's just not staying in place anymore. Anyways. That was pretty much what happened. Most of the time it was just footsteps. It wasn't too harsh. However, if you stay tuned, you'll hear about the 9th Street house. It's weird, huh? I moved from 7th to 8th, 8th to 6th. The 6th Street house was more like, oh shit, there is someone in this house. Because I wasn't the only one seeing it. I wasn't the one only feeling it. I wasn't the only one getting bruised up. Nor was I the only one that was being stalked by it. So if you stay tuned, I'll tell you more about the 8th Street house, which I will show you pictures of in that video. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it was too boring, tell me. I'll try to make shit more interesting. Anyways, like, subscribe if you feel like it. If you don't, then I don't give a shit. I'm kidding. I do. No, I don't. But anyways, subscribe, like if you want to. If you don't, then okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time when I have to tell you about the 8th Street house. Bye.